Hey guys, it's me Lachlan here today with a brand new video. Now before we get underway, I quickly want to point your attention to the description below, because in there you can find a link to sign up to one of the biggest Battlefield tournaments that's happened in a while. Myself and Level BF are hosting a new event called the Battlefield Dragon's Teeth Showcase event, which has been dubbed Project Trifecta. Now if you're on PS4, Xbox One or PC, you can sign up to be part of one of the biggest tournaments that's happened in a long while, playing the brand new DLC, and it will be streamed live on Twitch TV, and it will be a completely massive event. Now I will be doing the PlayStation 4 section. I'll be co-casting with a fellow commentator called Dasgro, so if you're interested in playing and interested in being part of this new tournament that we're running, make sure to check out the description below. There is a poster as well on screen now describing what we're doing. So it's been a while since I've done one of these topical videos, and I've been pretty slacking behind with them, so I thought I'd bring it back today. And today's topic is, are modern shooters becoming oversaturated, and more importantly, what is the future of the FPS / third-person shooter genre? Now I'm going to jump in with my opinion to kick this off. As always, I want as many of your comments below. We want to hear a bit more about this topic and your personal opinions. So for me, modern shooters are something which is dying out. It's something which really is starting to die out for me. And now I was kind of born and raised with these new consoles, such as the PlayStation 3, the Wii, the PS4, the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, and I was back in the golden ages of Modern Warfare 1, where that was the massive game at the time, and it was one of the most impressive games at the time. It probably changed and shaped the world of first-person shooters as it is. But as we've progressively gone through the years, we're seeing this repetition and general genericness which has kind of plagued every single modern shooter that we've seen to date. Now, if we look back, we've got Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Bad Company 1, Battlefield Bad Company 2, the new Battlefield Hardline. We can also include things such as Black Ops 2, because that was in 2020, and we're getting this constant recollection of video games which are all set in a roughly 2000 to 2030, shall we say, time zone, and it's becoming something which I think it's necessary to die out. Now, the problem that modern shooters are facing nowadays is something which is going to happen. It's bound to happen regardless of what they try and do to shake it up. Now, if you look at Modern Warfare and you look at, for example, Battlefield, two completely separate titles, do their things in their own way, completely different engines and play styles, completely different story modes as well, but they run off of a similar basis of this modern era. If we look at the campaigns for most of these games, it's fairly similar. In Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, we're faced with these incredible foes with strong capabilities, with country backing, and it's basically kind of like global war. In Modern Warfare 1, we had our Imran Zakayevs, and it was becoming very heated. And the general consensus is that these people cause a huge threat to the world around us. They have nuclear weapons and WMDs and all these scary things which the public is afraid about. And in Battlefield, we're seeing the same similar circumstances. Now, admittedly, Bad Company 2 and Bad Company 1 were a bit of a shake-up. They were something a bit different, and that's why they did so well in terms of Battlefield fans. But Battlefield 3 and 4 were facing the same similar circumstances. In Battlefield 3, we had, oh yeah, scary WMD with lots of flashbacks. It's very similar. Now, it's not to say that Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare are the same, but it's safe to say that they basically ran off of a similar plotline with each other, with just one of the games executing it a lot better. I can safely say, as a Battlefield fan, the story modes have been somewhat dire in the last few years. Now, in terms of conceptual ideas, so what these games managed to conjure up in-game, we're seeing the same kind of issues arise there too. So although we're looking at different kinds of multiplayers, we're still looking at similar guns, we're still looking at similar types of equipment, and it's not adding any variation whatsoever. So sure, look, Modern Warfare 2, completely different to Battlefield 4, shall we say, and in Battlefield 4 you have a flashbang and smoke grenades and all of these grenades, and in Modern Warfare 2, same circumstance. You have your M4s, your AKs. Every single gun is obviously trademarked, and they're all used by different patents, for example, Heckler & Koch and FN weapons, but they all appear in both titles because this is the modern era. These are the weapons that are used currently. If you look into the background of weapons that we see in game and equipment, chances are it's actually being utilized in real life as well. And because of that, we're seeing the same kind of similarities in multiplayer. Now, to say Battlefield 4 is similar to Modern Warfare 2 is practically a death sentence on YouTube, because that really isn't the case. They're completely separate. But the fact that the concepts are the same, so they're in maps which are basically modern era with modern weapons and modern equipment, we're still getting that same kind of vibe. Now, although these are completely separate games and we're playing them differently and we play them for different reasons, because the concept is still there from both of them, we're getting bored, and that's basically what is happening right now. Now, companies are always trying to throw us a different concept for us to play around with and try to enjoy. Now, in Call of Duty Ghosts, we saw a supposedly weakened US force take on a mighty South American force for some reason who decided to invade America. God knows why, and apparently it was based on the fact that the Ghosts were like a secret military group and were completely underpowered, but they still had robot snipers, predator drones, and a shit ton of tanks. So again, we didn't really see that much of a difference. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, 2 and 3, we followed the same Call of Duty Modern Warfare timeline with similar players, great story mode, not gonna lie, but still, same conceptual idea. And we're seeing now, for example, with Battlefield Hardline, we're trying to see a little bit of a shake-up into what we're used to seeing. We're seeing cops versus robbers. Now, admittedly, we have already seen this in Payday 1 and Payday 2, so if you haven't played them, then this might be a new predicament for you to find yourself in. But for me, basically the same thing, again, repackaged into a game which is completely wrong for the genre. To use cops and robbers in Battlefield, to me, doesn't seem like a very intelligent idea. But Hardline is playing around with the story mode in a very interesting way. It's trying to take almost like an American TV cop series, for example, like NCIS or something really big over there like Law & Order, and it's going to reshape it and place that into a game for us to use. I'm quite excited for this. But one thing that Battlefield has always tried keeping to its core, even though it hasn't, is non-linear campaigns, giving us the freedom to approach something however we want with lots of destructibility. But yet again, every time we look at all of these different shake-ups, we're seeing similar ideas. Now in Hardline, of course, it's a bit of a different idea, but we've still got the same guns, the same kind of military equipment, little birds. For some reason, they still have jets in the game. We'll find out what they're doing with that. And it's something which isn't helping us out a lot. So now we're approaching a slightly new era, and I say slightly new because, to be honest with you, it won't be that much different. We're seeing Star Wars Battlefront, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. We also have very popular games such as Titanfall and PlanetSide 2, for example. These are all futuristic based games, and all these futuristic based games allow developers to open up their ideas and throw us some new things that we probably wouldn't have thought of before, like free running and jetpacks and laser weapons. But I feel as though this isn't pointing in the right direction. Now, if we go into the future, what we're doing is basically taking equipment that we have from now, for example a tank, and then we're making it hover and fly and do lots of cool stuff with lasers this time instead. Again, they're trying to shake things up, but it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Now, this doesn't go for Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront is completely off the list. Admittedly, it still counts as a futuristic shooter, but it's a completely different concept running off of a original pre-existing title, which would make it overall a bit more interesting. But if we look at PlanetSide 2, Advanced Warfare and Titanfall, we're looking at, again, at very similar ideas. Now, if I were to show you a screenshot on the left, which is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and to the right of you, you have Titanfall, please tell me that you can see a difference, because as far as I'm concerned, we're basically looking at the same damn game repackaged and rebranded under little Activision lore, rather than having EA. It's basically the same thing, but with Call of Duty plattered all over it, which means it's going to make millions of sales regardless of how bad it is. But that's what we're used to, I guess. Now I'm going to point your attention to something which is new, something which was fresh, an idea which should have made fucking sense for once, but they decided to scrap anyway. This is a concept from Call of Duty's supposedly upcoming, which they were planning to do, Vietnam Call of Duty. This was scrapped for Advanced Warfare. What you're seeing right now is a conceptual idea of Vietnam that Call of Duty was going to do as a third-person shooter, not first-person shooter. And to me, this was gold. Why they decided to get rid of this in turn of Titanfall repackaged called Call of Duty Advanced Titanfall, I honestly have no idea. This game could have been something fresh. The Vietnam War was only ever utilised in, I believe, Bad Company 2's DLC in sort of recent times, and even then that was just a DLC. It was nothing very sort of extravagant with lots of different gameplay and core mechanics of it. It was just Battlefield Bad Company 2 reskinned for a new DLC. But Call of Duty had the chance here to go after a Vietnam War which has been fairly underutilized and throw in a fairly decent engine. They're completely overhauling graphics and gameplay, apparently. I say apparently because they're always bullshitting, but essentially this would have been something fresh, and I personally probably would have bought this game. Now we're seeing the same kind of thing. I always say to people, why doesn't Battlefield ever do a 1942 or 1943 again? Why don't they go back to World War I or II? Now many of us gamers are aware of the power of the Frostbite 3 engine, which is what Battlefield 4 runs off of and what Battlefront and Battlefield Hardline are expected to run off of as well. Now with this raw power and raw graphical capability, if that was in a World War II or World War I game, we would see something which is gripping, something which is sad, a sad campaign, a gripping campaign. We would have seen a very innovative multiplayer with the use of old weaponry, which is all categorized. And the last time we saw this introduction of old games, we saw success. Call of Duty World at War was a very successful game because it was completely different to the others. And we also saw that Call of Duty Black Ops 1, which was in the 1970s based in the Cold War, was far superior to that of any other game which had came out at the time. Now Modern Warfare 3 also came out after that, and it's safe to say that Black Ops was more important. Now admittedly that was partially down to zombies, but it's still the case that older games were performing better. And we're starting to see a shift now where advanced warfare and advanced games are overtaking games which gamers are generally interested in. So this is where the second part of this discussion comes in. In the comment section below, I want you to post down your opinions on advanced warfare and advanced gameplay of modern shooters, and the best comments will be featured in the next topical video. So guys, it's been me, Lachlan. As I mentioned before, if you want to be part of the biggest ever, one of the biggest ever Battlefield tournaments in a long time, make sure you check out the description below and apply for the event. And if you want any questions regarding that, make sure you get at me on Twitter, Lachlan_Cotter, and that will be it. And if you need any questions, I will answer them there. So guys, like I said, it's been me. Thank you for watching this video today, and I'll see you again with another brand new Battlefield video.